right. So, Torches, a map that I've seen a lot of lately. In the bottom right, it is Liquid MaNa.
And in the top right, it's Future of Terran. This kid burst onto the scene like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Young kid, showed a lot of potential, and he is here today to see if he can take down the old hat, MaNa. He was a Brood War star, and he played for a long time, and then Starcraft 2 showed up, and he's playing for a long time since then. And we will see how he holds off the relatively younger Future here today.
Yeah. Based on how we've seen Future play in the past, I imagine we'll probably see a... Oh, yeah, this is a little sus. Based on how we've seen Future play in the past, I get the feeling we'll probably see like some tanks, cyclone pushes, that kind of thing, because a best-of-5 macro TVP against MaNa is quite scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but oh boy, MaNa is... I think this is going to be Proxy Tempest.
Holy smokes.
MaNa, you dirty
All right,
dog.
man. Yeah, I know. We're getting into this thing already, huh?
So much for the respectful senior player.
I don't believe I said anything about MaNa being respectful. I love him, but I mean, come on. Any Protoss out there has got this massively cheesy side to them, without a doubt.
Yeah,
It's in there. Whether or not they play standard most of the time, it is ready to come out. So,
and there's Future. He's like, yeah, I'll just expo. I'm not going to scout.
oh
And
gosh,
he will regret that. Now, the question is, will this be an Oracle or will it be full-blown Tempest? I think it should be full-blown Tempest here from MaNa. At the same time, he does actually cut his gas mining a little bit, so he will be expanding. So this is just going to be a proxy Stargate. And not like a Tempest all-in, I believe.
all right, all right. Well, I'm okay with the proxy. I'll take those.
Yeah. Future is scouting out with his Marine, but no SCV scout is a very, very risky way to play. And he may be getting punished for that in this game as he goes for his reactor. His factory is just about done, so we'll see what he produces out of that, whether it can potentially be some anti-Oracle. Will it be 2 Hellions or 2 Widowmines here? I think it's going to be the former. Yeah, oh no. And it's a Void Ray.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. What?
Although, MaNa does get hit with a little bit of a supply block. However, that extra pylon will finish up, and it's actually going to be Void Ray Battery to start this off. So this is such an interesting build from the Protoss player, as he does have a macro follow-up behind this. At the same time, he is committing a fair bit. But let's see, the Hellions are going to find a Stalker in the middle of the map as Future does some fancy micro. Can 2 Hellions beat a Stalker? It's an engagement I don't actually know the result of. MaNa does recall.
No, I mean, all right. Widow Mines here. Can't quite take it down before they burrow. Void Ray going after SCVs. Don't kill them very fast, but they cannot defend themselves against the Void Ray, so he gets 1 kill. And maybe a second
so close
kill
to that
here.
Widowmine.
Oh, excellent escape there for that SCV. Working on a tech lab here on the factory, and then another kill there of an SCV. Prismatic alignment burning down that tech lab here. And the Widowmine's burrowing into position here to take it down. No, excellent micro there by MaNa.
Future.
And this is some effective harass here.
Future wanted to try and save that tech lab, it seems, with the SCV pull. However, it wasn't enough. He does invest in a bunker, but the 2 Void Rays do get on top of the Viking, and a bit of a slow reaction from Future is going to have him punished. The 2 Widowmines are still great at zoning these Void Rays, but a Phoenix is on the way, which will be able to lift the Cyclone. Stalkers are coming in to help punish, and Future's production stalled out for a moment. As the Phoenix comes on in, it doesn't even eat the Widowmine shots. Future will just tap out as MaNa catches him off guard. So this is your early series warning to scout, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, again, especially against a Protoss player on a map like this where you're spawning on the same side of the map. So think about that setup especially. Invites so much different cheese. And if you don't scout, then you can be taken down in under 5 minutes, as Future was there. So, again, scouting is so important, so fundamental. Oh, I think my camera's a little bit
Nope.
high there, but just
So,
looking at that and I'm like, I feel like a midget.
let's get you back up there.
All right, appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, just especially against somebody as good as MaNa is. Any Protoss, though, seriously, you throw anybody into this mix, you got to scout him. I'm just not sure why Future felt that didn't need to do it. He was just safe when he was obviously not. So let's go to game 2 here on Atakamak. It is a map that doesn't spawn you on the same side of the map as your opponent. It's cross spawns, as is more tradition. Less likely to get cheesed, but I mean, with the success of that first game, I'm not sure that MaNa isn't considering it again.
Yeah, that was such an interesting build from MaNa. Like, I mean, going for the extra Nexus, I mean, I guess we should introduce him. It's MaNa. You guys know him.
Yeah, and it's Future. Right.
Oh man, I did a cast the other day with Probots, and they had the announcers, so like the pre-planned intros, and it's like, oh my gosh, just it's so hard to shut up.
Just like nonstop, huh?
Well, just because like it announced the players instead of us, so while casting, it's like, oh right, I gotta be quiet at the start of the game. It's like,
Right.
I can't do that. I want to talk.
Yep, definitely something to get used to. Very weird. All right, kids, what do we got? No proxy this time. MaNa blocking off the Reaper hop-up spot inside of his main base. Worried about a Reaper a little bit. I mean, the last time a Reaper got a probe kill in a game of this magnitude, it was, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago. So it's hard. It's hard to get one. Protoss are all about getting the Stalker out, all about getting the Adept out, dealing with it. Probe scouts in, sees no second gas. Says, okay, cool. So Promenade a one baser. Let's go ahead and get a second base of my own. And see the timing on your own expansion. And there's 2 SCVs down here, which means one of them wants to expand, and he does get it down. Nicely done, Future. Excellent work.
Yeah, MaNa being I'll say being the smarter player and actually scouting though, whereas Future is not doing that. He's opening just Marine again. He did want to get aggressive in the early game of game number 1, but MaNa totally just swept the rug out from underneath him. But who knows, maybe he'll be able to get off some blind aggression in this match.
Entirely possible. Blind aggression has a chance to work in StarCraft. Always does, always has. But, you know, scouting is also good. Throwing down a bunker to be safe against maybe a Stalker showing up or a Zealot. But again, just playing blind, playing safe, playing Ring Around the Rosie with this
Marine.
Marine.
It really is Ring Around the Rosie because if... Oh, MaNa goes for it, and I think he gets out. Just Future just a second late.
Wow. Man, MaNa's just getting away with some stuff here today.
Yeah,
Getting that probe out, getting that proxy last game.
This is why MaNa is so fun to watch. Like, he is one of the older StarCraft 2 players out there, but like there'll be times where he will look in absolute god tier form. So he's very much the embodies MMA's form as temporary, classes forever, as MaNa can pop off at any time.
Yeah, he's just played so many thousands and thousands of hours of StarCraft. He's just got a perfect handle on timings, what he can get away with, when he needs to leave versus a Marine, when he needs to prepare for Widow Mine drops. I mean, everything in this matchup.
Yeah, we do have a nice wall from MaNa. Keep those Hellions out of his base.
Blink's on the way. No big surprise there. Blink is a foundational aspect and upgrade for PvT and every matchup. Hallucinated Phoenix saying, hey, look, we've got ourselves another barracks being constructed. I don't care about this Widow Mine. I've seen all I need to see. And look, it's a Widow Mine drop. Huh, what a big surprise. So MaNa just preparing for it, right? We got Stalkers. We got Blink Stalkers on the way here. Blink, I don't think it's going to be ready for this drop. Yeah,
no,
it's not
most
quite
likely
ready,
not,
but you don't need it.
MaNa is aware it's coming, and he has defended a Widowmine drop before, so he should be ready. is a bit of a gamble depending on the position. This is why players sometimes try and split the difference. MaNa does see Future coming on in. The Stalkers will be frantically chasing after this Medivac. 2 mines burrowing inside that main base. MaNa does pull the probes. 1 Widow Mine hits a Stalker, which is a higher value target than just a probe, so that's actually quite nice. And lots of mining time is being lost here. This Widow Mine will burrow. The Hellions are just back at home, though. Or at least the Hellion. I guess one of them died. Pardon me. And
sacrificing probes here is fine. Sentries, you know, not great at killing Widow Mines, unfortunately, but getting some damage on it nevertheless while it was trying. And MaNa moving out with a few Stalkers.
yeah, 4 kills in total. But it seems like Future did get slightly more lost mining time than MaNa would have liked to have given him. So not a terrible drop at all from the Terran. He's going to have Stim. Future is playing this heavy rack style as he is... Oh, wow.
Oh. Yeah, blinks in, get a siege tank there. SCV is getting pulled to perform citizens arrests. Also, Bunker doing a lot of damage here. Extra Marines doing fairly well at the same time. Hellion kind of glitching out there in the corner. We still got a couple Widow Mines and just repairing that bunker, prepared for another attack here, but MaNa's just kind of sharking around at the natural base. There we go. I guess, yeah, not quite sniping down the medevac there.
Yeah.
But both players fending off early aggression fairly well.
Future is planning on getting very aggressive here. You don't skip the tech labs on your racks unless you are planning exactly that. Now, he was a little late in starting his combat shield after this, and there is some signs of concern for the Terran because Protoss is researching that Psystorm ability. MaNa already has 1 High Templar out that has been energy recharged, so soon he'll be able to do a second one. And that means Future is going to be fighting with Marines against Psystorm and Zealots.
Yeah, not good, man. I'm always a big fan of Psystorm in this matchup. The number of Protoss that are like, Disruptors, Colossus. I'm like, you know, those are good. But man, get some Storm in there too. Storm, especially against this very Marine-heavy comp, is just like a Terran's nightmare. They hate seeing Storm dropped out here.
It's like, it's just instant damage unless the Terran pre-splits or EMPs. Future cannot afford to lose that Medivac. That is like one of his 2 Medivacs.
Yeah, not a lot of healing available. Cutting it in half would be pretty bad. But picking off. Wants that medevac, doesn't quite get it. Ooh, 3rd medevac is here. Pulling
and here's the boys. Look at that. The timing does not make sense here, though, as MaNa has got 1 High Templar with 2 Psystorms in it. Future's going to try and go forward, stim those High Templar down. The Marines do not have enough damage, though, so he's got to ease off the gas a little bit and try and bait out the Psystorm. Maybe shoot them with the tanks if possible, but that is difficult to pull off as MaNa will be keeping them in the back. The tanks do inch forward. Psystorm hits some of the siege tanks. The tanks do begin targeting down the High Templar, so the High Templar with energy are gone, and Future is trying to make this timing work, and it is looking promising.
It really is. Somehow it's 75 to 22 army supply for Future. He had Storm. It wasn't enough. The tanks are doing amazing work. Pulling the SCVs here is excellent as well. I'm not even sure it was entirely necessary. Big warping of more High Templar. Tank does go down. Storm is connecting. But I don't know if there's enough here for MaNa to hold on any longer than this. He's pulling more stuff out here, Future. Just getting into that natural base.
Yeah.
More probes are dying all over. The high ground Stalkers not going to be enough here. Stutter stepping in. Force fielding out. Some of them. More Marines. More tanks coming. I think MaNa's dead.
I think so, too. Now, he is doing a good job of dragging this out, and he does still have all 3 Nexus alive. He's only lost 8 probes, so while the army is garbage, he has bought time. He warps in another High Templar. Energy recharge is still on cooldown, though, for another 10 seconds at least. But Future does have to slow this down a little bit. He's still just pumping out as many Marines and tanks as he can, but his production is greatly reduced after all those SCVs that he pulled. And there's a Psystorm from MaNa who's going to try and break this. A second Psystorm as Future's attack that looks so promising is kind of getting cleaned up here.
Did I cast or curse this? What is happening right now? How did he do that?
I mean, Future just didn't split his army right, and then
And then new
MaNa.
storms showed up, and
Yeah, that's why you have to, like, say, kill that Templar Archives, kill a Nexus, have something that even if your units die, you can win the game later on, and Future didn't, so he was still all in. Yeah, well done.
oh yeah, he was definitely still all in. And MaNa was just like, nah, man. Like, if you can't win here, you're toast. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then he didn't. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. Well,
We are
that was game 2.
Yeah, we are hopping over to Europe now for our next games.
Seems fair. But yeah, happy Saturday, everyone. An early Saturday, much earlier than we usually do these things because of the NAEU players involved. So happy to see you. Glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning on in. If you guys haven't already, click that like button. And, yeah, make a channel here on Soup. Feel free to say hi. Let's just get over. My BNet didn't want to load to Europe, but second time's the charm.
There we go.
But yes, MaNa is looking good today.
Yeah, absolutely. He was the aggressor, wins. He was the defender against super aggression, wins that too. He's just rock solid in every aspect of the game. And like you said, you don't want to get to a late game against MaNa, but also you don't want to really do early game against MaNa either, it would seem. So game 3 is here on Ley Lines. We've swapped over to the European region. MaNa's up 2-0 in our first series here, and top right of Ley Lines, it's Team Liquid's MaNa.
And the American Terran player, it is Future.
It is.
As he does send out an SCV this time, but I don't think that's a scouting one.
Probably not. Would be my guess. And how long has MaNa been with Team Liquid? I feel like it's been a pretty long time.
It's been at least a decade.
Right?
Yeah, it's probably been 13-ish years.
He joined in February 2014. So
okay.
11 years, yeah.
Okay, not as early as I thought.
No, but still, like you said, over a decade. I mean, oh gosh.
Yeah, that's just the beauty of having long-standing players and long-standing esports orgs like Team Liquid.
Yep. Institutions and institutional players like MaNa. So 2 gas in it, proxy racks in it.
Yeah, MaNa does go for a probe scout. He's one of the players that most consistently does that. And yeah, unfortunately for him, he does deviate the path, doesn't find the proxy, and that delays his approach to future space. So it will be a bit of a later scout as he starts up a Nexus prior to Cybercore, which is a bit unfortunate
greedy.
when it comes to dealing with a proxy like this.
Yeah, that's greed. But, you know, sometimes you got to greed it out a little bit. Probe shows up. It's like, something is fishy here. Ooh, he does scout the proxy.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Oh,
sends
good
a probe
stuff.
down, finds it, sees the Marauder, sees the Tech Lab. Well, he doesn't know it's a Marauder, but sees the Tech Lab, knows it's a Marauder. And recognizes, okay, going to be Concussive Shell Marauder heading out.
Future begins building a barracks, MaNa pulling multiple probes to ensure that doesn't get up. You cannot have Marauders in a bunker next to your natural base. And
No.
yeah, let's see. Another Marauder is now on the way for Future. Factory is about to finish up. We'll see if we get a Cyclone, maybe a Widowmine, a Hellion, actually, just to get across the map quickly as possible to help out with this push. But MaNa builds a shield battery, so he should be fine.
Yeah, shield battery going to help. I feel like a second shield battery would be really nice here, too.
Yeah, I think a second battery relatively soon, and you are 100% right. There it is.
There we go. Yeah, just because it's a one-base aggressive play with Marauders. Like, the more healing you have, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Hellion gonna assist
Whoa.
against these probes, obviously. What is armory?
Future is freestyling to the max as he pulls the boys in a rush that isn't conventionally that aggressive, but MaNa got way too aggressive, moved out with his stalkers, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, he totally just threw those units away that needed to stay by these batteries, and now the batteries will be vulnerable. They are having some of their energy burned. Fortunately, another stalker does come down, and they still have lots of damage to soak, but the Marauders, they may be able to damage down this. Fortunately for MaNa, there is energy recharge. He is doing a good job targeting down these Marauders, so removing a lot of the damage. His Future goes for a wacky Hellbat build and transforms his Hellions into Hellbats. The Marauder at the back really needs to stay alive, but still, MaNa has some very good Stalker production now, 2 at a time, and Future is 100% all in here.
Yeah, he's got SCVs, body blocking here. The Hellbats are such an interesting choice. But Stalker is doing what they do, staying alive. Kite, 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 kite. Hellbats are not very good against them.
Yeah,
The
Citizen's
Marauder...
Arrest, but not enough.
Oh, man. What a creative build.